Alright, let's hit record. Here to get the music going. I did it again, didn't I? Yep, I did it again. Son of a beach. Okay. Alright. You're getting the originals soundtrack because the Spotify doesn't have the remake soundtrack. Not that you can go wrong with either version, but still. All the same, ladies and gentlemen. So I admit my editing software is why you're getting the Sky One audit rating video and the Sky One remake audit video or audit rating video side by side. So this remake, we did it in 11 sessions. We didn't use cheats. It's this one, yeah, the localization really killed this one for me. A plus 21 to story. Or a yeah, 78 damn negatives. But the gameplay fared a lot better because the gameplay sat at plus 40, which actually is pretty good coming from me, right? So, let's just get right on into it, shall we? Brickwork, triple positive. Positive for the scenery just popping more than it does in the original, with special mention to Roland Zeiss, Grand Cell, and Grand Cell Castle. Simple and to the point. Doodads usage is the same thing, except I only gave one, but I did decide to give individual doodad positives to Perzel Farm, Roland, Mose, Ruan, Zeiss, and Grand Cell, and that is still loud in my ear because this song is so loud. The character models are excellent. I will admit I don't think they actually are that great in terms of overall quality, as sometimes the sprite work and the usage thereof is a little weird. Estelle's facial expressions coming to mind immediately. Though I will admit, of particular note are the monster designs, as they are updated to be recognizable. Sorry, let me fix that up. To be recognizable, but done in a way as to where one would need to be trained to fight them. Oh, as to why one would need to be trained to fight them. Okay. Sorry, the sentence structure there just... I was reading that wrong. But yeah, of particular note, the monster designs, as they are updated to be recognizable, but done in a way as to show why one would need to be trained to fight them and not be scared shitty. I gave the animations a triple positive. Yes, I mentioned kind of the facial expressions on Estelle being kind of weird, but the animations overall were really, really good and ended up getting a triple out of me. As was the gameplay story integration. Very simple, very, very straightforward. Internal continuity was a double positive. I gave a positive to the NPC chatter. Lindblom effect, low tier storytelling, consequence storytelling, and the down-to-earth perspective of being to be a bread racer theme. All of that is mostly just carryover from the original Sky One. So really, none of those require too much explanation. World building got a triple in this one because the remake actually enhances the world building of this thing left, right, and center. Shitty localization notwithstanding. Good visual storytelling, good foreshadowing, good use of background lore, good use of Babylon 5 effect. With an added triple positive to active voice. I mean, come on. Are you even really surprised that active voice got a triple positive out of me at this point? I mean, this is only the what? What are we up to at this point? The 9th game, Falcom game with active voice that I have praised the shit out of active voice in. 8 Trails games, and Ys 10. Anywho. So, while the voice act is... So that is 39 presentation positives. Not too shabby. Now let's get into the characters. While the voice acting and localization make me enjoy them less than in the OG, I still like Estelle and Joshua. They got a positive each. I still like Niall. I still like Dorothy. And Olivier was still a triple. Leave it to Matt Mercer to not only sell me on Olivier, but circumvent the terrible voice direction to earn the Traveling Bard the full 3 positives once again. Speaking of which, Mitch, I also ended up giving a positive to Matt Mercer's performance pretty early on, and I never questioned that positive once. Go figure. Colonel Richard is still worthy of 2 positives, so yeah. I also gave a positive to Ben Pronsky's performance. So I'm just going to read out this positive to make sure that we don't misunderstand each other. Because as is discussed at length in the negatives, the voice direction is bad. And yet, Ben Pronsky delivers a performance that adds nuance to Agate without making him sound bored. If this was my first exposure to Agate, I'd probably be giving him props. Oh well. We can settle for Ben getting this plus as for this time around. Oh, don't fuck this up, Sky 2 remake. More specifically, localization of the Sky 2 remake. Chloe's still awesome, and Christina V, he still does a great job voicing her, helped by the fact that she has always played Chloe, even back in the original Sky trilogy. I still like Julia, and I actually think her new VA is fitting. It is one of the few fitting castings, honestly. Tita is still adorable and awesome. Triple positive. I know that some people dog on Brianna Knickerbocker's performance as her. I am not in that camp. I actually think she does an okay job with the role. Well, it's the voice direction that lets her down, if anything. Keelika is still observant and awesome. Murdoch is still awesome. Tita's grandfather, Professor Russell, is still a hoot and still a triple positive. Jin is still a bro, and I will not call him Zin. I will call him Jin because that is the correct pronunciation. God, I hate that. We'll get into it in the negatives. Headmaid Hilda is still hilarious and made better with Mila Lee voicing her very well. It's a little weird to be hearing Sharon's voice come out of Headmaid Hilda, I'm not gonna lie, but then again, when I play Fire Emblem Awakening, I can't help but hear Sharon coming out of Tiki, so what the hell do I know? Oh. So that was 24 character positives. Now let's move on to the moment positives, shall we? I gave the opening 2 positives. I liked the original's opening, and actually what's funny is this is pretty much a shot-for-shot remake of the original's opening. I just didn't realize it. I didn't like how clear that opening shot was. That's because it was, it was way clearer in the remake that it's effectively a spoiler. But the rest of it is honestly just gold, and without context, that opening shot means nothing but foreshadowing. So, yeah, 2 positives there. I still gave the intro a positive, despite the awful nature of the localization. Elisa's Entreaty is a side quest added in the remake that adds flavor to the lore and gives us one more bit of story at Purzel Farm. Good stuff. This is the chick at the bar in Roland, who works at the bar in Roland, who effectively wants us to help her in coming up with a new dish. And since I like Purzel Farm, and that's the main location we go to during this quest, I like it. Matt Mercer's singing makes his diffusion of the tension of the con gate even better, and makes the scene work better than any other scene before it. So triple positive there. I still like the farewell to Shara and Olivier. I still think it's nice and funny in this remake. Clem's confrontation with the Ravens is still good in this version, mostly because of Chloe, but regardless, it's still a good scene. I still love convincing Dushdanon to leave Erletten. Still an awesome side quest. Honestly, the updated animation and the talents of the voice actors sell the play even harder than in the original. In the original. I loved the play. Hey. The confrontation with Dalmor, despite the terrible delivery from Stephanie Say. Yeah, that's something we'll get into in the negatives, because some people are going to accuse me of being an asshole with this, but we'll get there. But yeah, despite Stephanie Say being directed absolutely fucking terribly, I think the confrontation with Dalmor is honestly even better in this version. As well, the limitations unintentionally made Dushdanon reasonable. The shot-for-shot nature of this remake adds to the flavor. Yes, seriously. Drunk Dunon and the animations mean that in this remake, this section is worth a full 3 positives. I still like Julia arresting Dalmor. I think that's still awesome. Then there's the confrontation between Agate and Lawrence at the start of Chapter 3. I think it's even better than it was in the original, and Agate is 100% the reason. The animations with him, especially on his face, the voice acting from Ben Pronsky specifically, is just gold, and I love it. Too bad Travis Willingham is delivering the worst performance I've ever heard from him, but despite that, I still gave that scene a triple positive. That's a question I should pose to the lore runner. Anyways, but yeah. Then there's Tita's new quest, Present for Parents, which is hilarious and awesome. That recording made me laugh so damn hard. The slap. Yeah, Agate's VA sells the hell out of this scene, and that is what makes this work. I still like the ritual reveal, and I still like Major Sid trying to make up for his mistakes. Ben Pronsky's performance makes the scene where Agate takes the fall where Agate takes the fall, even better. Then I also gave even more props to Ben Pronsky because he makes Chapter 3 just as, if not better, than it was in the OG. I really like Ben Pronsky's performance, can you tell? God, I didn't even realize how many positives Ben Pronsky actually contributes to in this. God damn, now I'm actually looking forward to Sky 2's remake. Ish. I still like the coup plot. I still like the heart-to-heart after meeting Julia. Okay. Meeting with Queen Alicia. Oh, I like this. I really like this. It's made even better with the new illustrations, especially the one where Morgan is shaking hands with Van Dyke from Cold Steel, complete with Osborne on the left, and tucked away in the back on the right is Roy Kramhart. So, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, okay, Horizon can't get here fast enough now. For the record, I am over a month away. We're over a month away at this point from Horizon. From my perspective, you know. Actually, you might be getting the. Actually, when are you going to be getting this? This final session is going live on the 17th. Oh, you're getting this. At 1 week from this coming Friday. I'm recording this on the 7th of December, for the record, and this video is going live on the 19th of December. So there you go. Moving on. So triple positive for that. So the animations make Shara showing up for the rescue at the showing up. There we go. During the rescue at the Royal Villa, still work. While the animations make Shara showing up during the rescue at the Royal Villa work, show up at the Royal Villa work, I am still left disappointed. We'll talk about that more in the negatives. I still felt the embassy mission was hilarious. And despite the translation, Johnny Bosch and David Lodge delivered their best performances of the game during the Weissman twist. Sadly, that is the only credit I can give the singing in English other than the animations, and even then, I think the portraits of the OG sell the scene a lot harder in my opinion. And then, the final scene. The final scene is sold by the voice acting, and honestly, it's the only scene where I can take Stephanie Say seriously. Despite the clunky nature of the translation, I still think that final scene deserves a triple positive, as do the CGs in the credits. 99 gameplay positives. Let's move on to the negatives. Oh boy, let's just get everybody hating me out of the way right now. So, first and foremost, the voice direction in the English version is genuinely terrible. Several scenes feel off with the inflections of the dialogue, with scenes like Cassis in Farrell, not calling it J Tower because fuck this localization, coming to mind immediately. So yeah, triple negative for that. Then there was the performance from Stephanie Say. Oh, okay. I know some people dog on Stephanie Say for stupid reasons. Looking at you, Steve. I know some people dog on her, but Stephanie Say is better than this. She is absolutely fucking better than this. So I'm just gonna read out this triple negative so that so no one misunderstands me. Stephanie Say is usually a voice. Wow. Oh, bad grammar is bad. God, the performance was so bad my grammar suffered. Stephanie Say is usually a voice actress that I like. Tharja in pretty much every other role in Fire Emblem Awakening, and Estelle in other Trails games come to mind immediately. But this time, her performance sounds fake as fuck to me. This is definitely a voice direction issue, but still, as much as I hate to signal her out specifically, hers is easily the weakest. It was easily the weakest so far. I had typed this out during chapter 1, for the record. Or no, sorry, the prologue. During the prologue. It was either the prologue or chapter 1 where I was just like, yeah, no, fuck this, right? I honestly hate to do this, but it's consistently awful across the board to the point where I get a headache, so sadly, yeah, I have no choice but to give her performance a triple negative. Because every scene I was just taken out of it by how fucking over the top Stephanie Say delivered so much of the dialogue. It was way too over the top. And that's the thing. I know Stephanie Say can voice act. I've heard her voice act before. But this ain't it, Chief. And sadly, I have to give the same amount of shit to Travis Willingham for his performance as well. He is a damn good VA, but the voice direction lets him down so hard that it sounds like he's phoning it in with every scene he is in. And if it weren't for the rest of the presentation, he would ruin all of his scenes. I hated doing this, but I had to do it yet again. But I had to do it yet again, and Travis Willingham's performance was another triple. Like I almost feel like the performance. You know what? I'm actually gonna do it. Fuck it. Okay, let's get our first timestamp. Yes, I'm not going to have any timestamps before this point, and I have no timestamps before this point, but. We'll say at 23:30. And I'm just gonna play the clip from my stream that basically just carries us all the way through. That just goes through the entire scene, so you can kind of understand what I mean when I say that the voice direction lets this down, and that Ben Pronsky somehow circumvents the bad voice direction. So yeah, I'm gonna play that to kind of iterate my point. So I'm gonna pause the music briefly, just so that way future Alex can make a cut. Put it on the charger. Yep. Just like in the original. Immediately as soon as we hit next chapter.
This guy's relentless.
Get back here, you punks!
How the hell's he keeping up with that huge sword?
I know what I can handle.
And besides, the more you train with something that heavy, the more you're able to move with it.
Guess we can't shake him. We've got no choice but to fight.
About damn time. I was getting sick of that cat and mouse crap. Let's get this over with.
What a pity. You could have lived if you weren't so persistent. What a fool. Do you really think you could win 2-on-1?
Of course I do.
What?
Fights are all about guts. The moment you lose your nerve, it's over. Might as well have stamped loser on your damn forehead the second you turned tail and ran.
Shut the hell up! You damned dirty guild lapdog! We'll rip you apart!
Damn!
You can't let him catch us here. Just give up already. Tell me who the hell you are and what you bastards are plotting.
That would be a problem.
What the? When the hell did you?
Captain! You came for us?
What a helpless bunch. You missed check-in, and here you are, wasting time.
We're very sorry, sir. We hit some unexpected interference.
So that's it. You're the big boss, huh?
No, I'm just a field supervisor. I apologize for my troops' rudeness. Could you let this one slide?
That could be part of the cover of Araxor. That's my thought process.
Huh? The hell did you just say?
I asked if you could let this slide. We have no plans to start a fight with the Bracer Guild.
You've gotta be kidding me. What kind of bullshit ask is that?
Oh well. I thought it was a reasonable offer. You two. I'll handle this. Hurry back to the meeting point.
Yes, sir! Thank you, Captain.
Like hell you will! You son of a... Fine. You can be my prey instead. Whatever you're sitting on looks way more important anyway.
You think you can hunt me down that easily?
You're damn right. Not bad.
You swung that heavy lump of iron with such unrestrained passion. Perhaps we are not so different.
What?
You've been crushed by your own helplessness in the past. I can see it in your eyes.
Oh, those facial animations.
Now that's more like it. I got no clue who the hell you are, but I like your style.
I don't dislike straightforward, clumsy men like you either. Why don't we stop here and call it even?
Screw that! Talking like you know me, huh? You smug bastard! I'm gonna smash you into the dirt! I'll talk, no bite, huh? All right, I'll haul his sorry ass back to the guild and wring him dry. What the?
After image. Sorry, Agate.
Is this a shadowcraft?
Not a bad strike, but hesitation still holds you back, I see. That is what throws off your blade.
What'd you say?
If you wish to become a true demon, you must be ready to abandon everything. If you wish to live as a human, forget your anger and sorrow. Now then, farewell.
Forget my anger and sorrow? How the hell could I ever do that?
Okay. There we go. I don't think I needed to wait that long, but whatever. Anyways, moving on. Inconsistent voice acting, yet again. And this time... actually, sorry, one more. Sadly, Malthea is another example of a VA sounding bored as hell to me. Only one for that one. Then there was the inconsistent voice acting, which leaves me conflicted. On the one hand, it is here, and it does bug me, but on the other hand, the game's voice direction is so bad that it drives me insane. I suppose I can justify it by saying that it's the same with the Japanese audio track as well, complete with the same in the same scene garbage that has plagued the series for a long time. So yeah, triple negative there. I gave a pronunciation negative because seriously, why the hell were some of these pronunciations changed for this remake? With one notable exception that I gave a two exceptions that I gave a triple negative to, because they bugged me that fucking much. So, actually, I'm going to hop over that, and I'm actually going to talk about the first one second. So, let's talk about the Orwell Golems thing first. So, archaisms are a term that has been used in the English version of Trails for years. Okay? Since the localization of Sky 1, they have been called archaisms, and that has not changed across the entirety of the entire franchise. They were called archaisms in the English version of the Sky Trilogy, the Crossbell Duology, the Four Cold Steels, Revelry, and in Daybreak. Yeah, this is something that hasn't even changed as of Daybreak 2. So what the hell is Gung-Ho thinking with this garbage? Or whoever the hell they outsourced this to. I literally had to make the Dragon Ball Z abridged joke. Oak. I'm not going to play the DBZ clip, but yeah, I literally was paraphrasing DBZ abridged when I typed out the Orbital Golems thing. I mean, it's fine, it doesn't bother me, it bothers me a lot, and this localization is still shit! Made all the worse with the one that really brings my piss to a boil. Pronouncing liberal as liberal. This is so fucking tone deaf. This is one of the most... I'm just going to read this out. This is one of the most tone-deaf decisions of all time, regardless on political stances. A fictional company sharing a name with an IRL political group of any kind from any country is dumb and frankly wrong. I stewed on this on this the whole game, and yeah, I ended up giving it a triple. Then there's the term inconsistencies, which just fucking pissed me off for another triple. as they are just plain obnoxious, as there are several changed terms that were just not needed, because this is nowhere near the first Trails game to be localized, and no, a new studio doing it is not an excuse, as NIS got this right the first time. And they are made even worse, as there are places where the correct term is used, such as Mayor Klaus mentioning Asmodeus. This gets especially bad with the side quests, as the OG has interesting names for the quests as in English, but in this one, they changed them to be more in line with the Japanese script, and in my opinion, to the detriment of the game. So after some intense thought, I was just like, yeah, no, triple negative to that crap. And then there's some of the dialogue that might be a more direct translation, but is shit if that is the case, as it takes out the flavor of the OG localization had, and makes Estelle seem dumber, as a lot of it seems to be centered on her specifically. In fact, this lack of flavor is a constant issue that makes the localization feel lazy as fuck. Effectively, the idea here is that there's so many scenes where Estelle goes, "What?" in an over-the-top manner, and that's her reaction. Whereas in the original translation, in the original localization, she actually would have some commentary, like, like kind of a "what you talking about, Willis" kind of thing, right? But no, instead they just had to have it be a direct translation, and the direct translation is "huh?" instead of Crom's wives questioning it. This is very much the issue games like Final Fantasy VIII suffered from in 1999. I actually looked up when FF8 originally came out just to make that point. Yeah, not acceptable in 2025 at all. So triple negative there. And then there's the fact that the dialogue in general has a feel of being translated by AI. I have no evidence that it was translated by AI, so I'm not saying it is, but that it feels like it. So that's a triple negative to the dialogue. With a special fuck you to the overly formal translations in Chapter 2 in particular, as the characters suddenly start using Mr., Miss, this, and the like, even though they hadn't for the entire runtime before that. Then, the bad dialogue leads to an general empty text negative. The general negative may only be one, but there are 3 triples in specific that piss me off, which we'll get to in a minute after I mention the genuinely awful lip flaps. Usually this kind of thing doesn't bug me, but in this case, Jesus, it was so excessive and lazy. It was so bad. Good. So, speaking of empty text, let's get into those triples, shall we? I guess not. Okay. Okay. Where was it? Right. So let's start with the first triple for an empty text thing. Estelle constantly acts with surprise every single time someone declares that they know Cassius. Yes. So this is effectively the same one that I did. Ooh. Alright, so I'm going to have to make sure I'm really on my game even there. Sorry. work-related thing. I actually did need to look at it. Anyways, where was I? Right. So this is the same triple negative for Estelle constantly questioning Cassius's people knowing Cassius, which actually I don't think which was which I believe is the only triple that was in the original localization. So then, other than the general issues with empty text that are all over the place, there's one that I highlighted pretty early on, and other than the "you know my dad" thing, as there are several text boxes that have nothing but ellipses. The number of dots is probably underselling it. That I put in the document here is probably underselling it, by the way. Hey. It honestly bugs me, as the OG had nothing of the sort and even managed to fill the dead air. Your mileage may vary on the quality of the filling, but at least it wasn't nothing. Triple negative there. And then there's Estelle's reactions, which are just god-awful. So yeah, there was 2 that were exclusive to the remake, localization. I feel like so some people have a for real counter for Persona 5, and yet this game will put that count to shame and then some. So yeah, I ended up giving that a triple negative. Then there's one, the battle lost the kite scene like in the original. The auto's advanced timing feels off to me, and I kind of hate it. So here's effectively a brickwork negative, and a bit of a weird one. So hear me out on this one. I'll read it out so that, again, we're on the same page here. As this is going to seem weird and or petty, but Ruin feels smaller in the remake than I think it should. I honestly didn't notice it until I started talking about how my investment returned in Zeiss, as every other region so far had been amazingly detailed and expansive, whereas Ruin feels lacking. Ruin City and Genis are the prime examples of this, as the locations feel too confined and boxed in, which made sense on the engine that the original Sky 1 was running on, but in the Daybreak engine? Oof. Like, it almost feels like they were too rigidly like one-to-one translating this. What should have happened is we should have gotten a more expansive Genis and a more expansive Ruin, in my opinion. That would have been awesome. Think Final Fantasy VII Remake, just without it taking 40 extra hours. Ruin doesn't feel like a port like Bose feels like a commercial hub in this remake, and that feels wrong, to be blunt. And that's the other thing, too. Bose, I still felt like Bose to me. How's that for weird? Everything I've seen, speaking of the song that's playing right now, everything I've seen from the Kapuas in this remake indicates to me that they are just as irritating and badly handled as in the original. And yep, I admit it. If they had if they had gotten bonus scenes to flush them out, I would have reduced it. But no, they didn't get any bonus scenes, therefore the Kapuas were triple negative. General Morgan is still the paint-thinner-guzzling moron that he's always been. It's just now he's voiced by Richard Epcar. Yay! Double negative. Okay. Agate. He does have more nuance to him thanks to his voice actor. And if I was inclined to be positive about the voice direction, I'd give it credit. But since it's terrible, I can't. He is still an asshole. This neg was placed here at the Corone Pass checkpoint, so I'll stick to one. So I was basically saying I'll stick to one and see where it goes. Yeah, it stayed. It stated it, and as the sentence I added on and points out, it stayed at one the entire game. I didn't feel like I could justify upping it to two or three, because again, that's how good Ben Pronsky's performance was, in my opinion. And yep, Dushdanon is still irritating. I do not think he deserves to be voiced by Kyle McCarley, Melchior's voice actor. I know some people have issues with Kyle McCarley because of some shit he said on social media, and I don't fucking care because I don't look at that shit. What? What? Does this wolf's fur look red to you? Look, when he stops, I've said it before and I'll say it again, when he stops fucking making it his entire identity, I'll stop bitching. The Special Ops goons were honestly better when they weren't voiced. At least because their line reads feel exaggerated. Now, what's this one here? Oh, okay. So, with this being a remake and all, complete with Falcom taking and even hinting at future events, taking future events into consideration and even hinting at them, I can do the same with General Morgan arresting us since, Gilead fucking Osborne. Seriously, fuck this moment. I still only give it one, but that's only because, I don't feel justified giving it multiple because it doesn't screw over this specific game, right? That much. The only reason Agat's scene at Crone Pass is better in this remake is because of Agat's voice actor. I'll go ahead and say that. Whether intentionally or not, Ben Pronsky put in a lot of work into his performance as Agat. So, yeah, that's how good Ben Pronsky's performance is. It not only was adding a bunch of positives, but it was also reducing the number of negatives. It's too bad the rest of the localization screwed the pooch so goddamn hard. Then there's Agat yanking us off the arson case. Yeah, if any of the scene, if the remake had made that scene voiced, I would have actually considered nuking this negative, dropping this negative, but it isn't, so I won't. And then there was the cliche of the hot springs. Means, yeah. Estelle shrieking because she missed both the sign and Tita's warning that the open air bath was unisex is the cliched lovers see each other naked. Double negative. Fuck that shit. And it's vice direction, apparently. Fuck. It would have been better if that scene had not been voiced. But no, that scene was voiced, which made it worse. Agat being a hypocrite, same as in the original. Okay, so yeah. As much as I know I might get some pushback for this, the remake does nothing to enhance the scene where the party abandon their brains and tell Tita, an upset teenager who loves her grandpa, to stay behind from rescuing said grandpa. Yeah. Also, I made a note saying that a good localization would not save that scene. I mean, the original version's localization didn't save that scene. So there you go. Then there's the fact that the remake still has to tell us that Agate is a good person. At least Ben Pronsky helps us buy what Joshua is selling on that. Wayside Wallet adds nothing in total contrast to the new question Roland, which it helps highlight how much Personal Farm adds to the charm of Roland. This quest says nothing except for the repetition of a joke. Hook I only ever found funny once in the OG Sky 2. Yeah, I felt like it was a giant Wayside Wallet was just a giant waste of time. Mueller's excuse, it's just as irritating as it is in the original. So then there's Joshua's outfit defying the laws of physics. Why did Joshua's maid model have... Why does Joshua's maid model have jiggle physics? I want to remind you, Joshua doesn't have tits. Like that's muscle, toned muscle. It's the one bit of lazy sprite work in the whole fucking game, because they literally just stuck Joshua's like maid head on a female character model and called it a day. So yeah, triple negative there. Do not hitting on Estelle and Joshua. Yeah, it was overtly creepy in this version. Ugh. I also really hate the lack of oomph from Estelle finding out that Chloe is Claudia. It is the embodiment of all the problems I've been bitching about all game. Stephanie Say's weak-ass delivery, the what reactions being completely overplayed, and even the animation is not over the top here, or like it should be, which is the only part that is on Falcom, I might add. I might get some shit for this, but yeah, that just ruined it for me. So yeah, the Chloe reveal got a triple negative. Then there's one that the translation fucked over, and I can blame this solely on the English version. I don't want this song for this. What I want is this song. We'll go back to that song after I talk about this. The translation ruins the Weissman twist completely for me. Johnny Ambosh and David Lodge try their hardest to salvage it, but the script fails them epically. I wish I didn't have to, but yeah, this is the biggest example of the translation failing, and yeah, I had to give it a triple negative, because again, the script is what screws it up. David Lodge is delivering such a fantastic performance, but the words that are coming out of his mouth suck ass. It hurts. It fucking hurts. It pained me. It pained me to say it. But yeah, combine that with the fact that the localization also ruins the outro for me. Also, fuck that trailer for spoiling way too much about Sky 2. Who? Ugh. 78 negatives. God, I hated that so much. Ugh. Ugh. It hurt. This localization hurts. I'm not even gonna sit here and beat around the bush. This localization is garbage, and it fucks everything about this remake. Its localization. The localization is what ruins this remake for me, completely. And what's sad is that you can see it right there on the screen right now. How? Plus 40 to gameplay. The gameplay in this thing is freaking exquisite. Ah! But I'd still play the original for the better translation. So, yeah. Now, where was I? Right, I was here. Alright. So now let's move on to some actual positives here, shall we? Options were... let's get into the gameplay, which fared a lot better. Gameplay! It was the options... So for the gameplay, 2 positives for the options. I do actually think the music was really good. Only gave it 1, but I'm okay with just sticking with 1. I felt the save system was worthy of 2 positives, and I gave credit to the autosaves. Only 1 for the autosave, though. Oh, as I feel it is just a little too limited. The log is as good as it is in Daybreak and East 10. So triple positive. Info in game is a triple. The bestiary is so good that I gave it a triple. I gave props to the HUD, the combat interface, some good quality of life, which is all over the place. The dynamic music from Daybreak. The mini-map is just as awesome as it is in the... as it is from Cold Steel 3 on. The full map is awesome. The fast travel is a fucking godsend. I'll go ahead and say that. At triple. Some awesome flow of exploration. And adding to the fact that if you do go exploring, you can get the bear claw for medicinal material before Persil Farm. The reason for this positive having it. The reason this positive for having a quest item early wasn't in the review for the OG is twofold. First, quests have a time limit, and 2, Mistwald, where you found it, is much more manageable in the remake. Hell, even in the remake, I was getting wrecked, honestly. There's no exp penalty for fallen party members, which is really good. Goes well with the retry offset as well. The core combat in this one is just fun as hell and was easily a triple positive. Holy crap. Which is helped by the fact that the power progression curve is legit, despite you still using the same quartz system as the OG Sky 1. It's honestly... he's so good that it warrants a full 3 positives, in my opinion. If for nothing else than the sheer speed in which new crafts and arts are learned. Also, Zeiss just adores showering you with exp if you get there in the mid-20s to early 30s. And also helped by the legit encounter design. This battle system was designed for fighting hordes. With some excellent enemy variety as well. Then there's something that might seem a little weird to praise, but the crafts seem to have been tweaked so that more of them are AOE, whereas in the OG they were single target. So that's actually kind of cool. Kit overall is also handled better, as it is constantly being updated with good spells and the aforementioned tweaks to your crafts. Then there was the itemization, which was just amazing even from the get-go. Cheap EP recovery for the win! Also, the food items are cheap AF as well, so the new side quest, Elisa's Entreaty, do the new side quest Elisa's Entreaty, and you will add a menu item to Roland's bar that heals 900 HP and 25 CP for 240 Mira each, which is more healing and less money than Tear Bomb. Yeah. Combine this with the lucrative nature of loot and dungeons, and yeah, itemization was easily a triple. Cooking is still useful. The gameplay story integration was a triple. With a special mention to the tweaks to combat feeling appropriate for the point in the timeline that this is set. It wasn't needed, but it was well done regardless. Monsters on the highways tend to stay away from the orbital lamps, which allows you to avoid encounters entirely. It's actually a lot easier to avoid encounters in the remake. I actually appreciate that. Full heal and level up. I always praise that because I am not a coward. Inns restore EP, HP, EP, and CP. Good. Experience multipliers as per usual. Look, what I'm saying is that a lot of the positive, with a lot of the positives, is that there is a lot of quality of life on display. Wait, did I give the general 2 and then the... Ooh. Hang on. I did kind of double dip. Hang on. That's a triple. Okay, you know what? I can fix this without changing the score. Because I do think the menus are nice and smooth. We'll give a positive to the menus because they deliver a lot of information in a very good and easy to understand, in a very digestible format. So there we go. Saved myself on that. Combat animations were also a full positive, with the spell effects getting also being kind of cool. The turn bonuses have some nice balances and upgrades. Action combat feels just as smooth and fun as it did in Daybreak. Switching tactics, as the game calls it, is quick, easy, and smooth as butter. So switching between command battle and action combat was a triple. Brave attack is basically the link attacks from Cold Steel. Hell yeah. Chain attacks, yep. Burst, yep. Full burst, and I really like full burst. This is one when you have less than 4 members in your party, and you can still burn 5 brave points to blast the enemies. which is cool. Also, Estelle and Joshua's combo attack in action battles. Battles. Sure, this one and the above require both Estelle and Joshua to be in the party, but that only has implications for 2 small sections of the game. So, yeah. Also, those last 3 unlock right before Tita joins, who is just plain fun to play as even if her utility is no longer unique. While I stand behind in the above positives, there is one more thing to say about the link system. The support abilities are legit. Not only do they remind me of the ones from Persona 4 in all the best ways, but they get better over time. Even ones like Protect have added benefits like stopping your arts from being cancelled, for example. Yeah, that was easily a triple positive for that alone. Counterattack on misses. I love that. Then there's the monster caves. There are caves that have giant trash mobs, and they are essentially leveling spots that are renewable. Yeah. Then there's the Annalise quest that pops up after Olivier officially joins the team, which is awesome because of Annalise herself. Competent AI allies for the win. Also her cat. Then there was fighting all 3 of the Kapuas in their hideout. I guess we're done with the presentation. We're done with the presentation positives, which there were a lot of, admittedly. 76 of those, like, holy shit, you know? Anyways, fighting the 3 Kapuas, that honestly felt like a good fight. Much better than fighting Josette in the fucking prologue. Ugh. So, in the Limestone Cave in Zeiss, the one with the penguins, there is a battle chest that rewards you with a weapon for Tita. Which, yes, it was a weapon for Tita. Tita called G-Impact. This chest fight is honestly decently designed despite the confusion capability. Pretty sure I was underleveled. It gave me 3,000 in X, for fuck's sake, and I still wrecked them with just Estelle and Joshua. I didn't even have Tita yet. Tournament fight against Lawrence is still fair and fun as hell. Joshua, Jin, and Olivier versus the special ops goons in the castle control room is weirdly fair. Like, extremely fair. Huh. Go figure. Okay. So, Lawrence in the Terrace. We're in the positives, by the way. Yes, seriously. So, for the second time, I know some people would probably want me to be putting more, some more, thingies, but yeah. Lawrence in the Terrace is a fun as fuck fight. It really is. It's a fun as fuck fight. Right. I was curious, so I cranked the difficulty up to Nightmare. Okay? I cranked it up to Nightmare out of curiosity and won. How? Because this is the most well-designed fight in the game. This combat system is tailored for you to fight an enemy like this. This fight reminds me of Shizuna in Daybreak 2, because if you let your guard down, he will fuck you up. But you have enough tools at your disposal to circumvent it. Assuming you gave Estelle stupid high evasion. which is possible with the quartz that Joshua can find in the sewers right before this. This stupidly long paragraph is to say that yes, I gave the Lawrence fight in this version a triple positive. I also do like the quality of life upgrades. It's making the final dungeon less of a slog, and the trash encounters not being obnoxious and bullshit. But, well, join me in the negatives for the issues there. Then there's the two positives I gave the first, second, and third rounds against the mech. Even with round 3 giving me that stupid fake out before the party gets 200 CP, which was stupid as fuck. Not to mention pointless. New Game Plus is still good. Good, earning it its first positive, and which lets you carry over points for the second, and lets you decide if it's a hard New Game Plus, meaning the enemies are stronger by 50 levels, or if you're curb stomping, which was the third. And then I gave a positive for viscerality. Alright, 94 gameplay positives. Let's move on to the negatives next. Let's get this out of the way. Modern DLC bullshit. Bullshit as per usual. 2 negatives. I find the autosaves to be kind of ass backwards. There's only one renewable one, which for most Trails games is fine, but if any entry warranted it, it was this one. The autosave itself is frequent enough, but feels like feels a little unintuitive at this point. And at this point, really should give you more slots. Combine that with the fact that by this point, even the console versions should have autosaves, and yeah, at least there are separate autosaves at the start of each chapter. Though, that is the start of very long chapters. So yeah. The autosaves were a positive and negative scenario. Is what that long diatribe is talking about. I also feel like the tutorials suck in this one, and they are way too hand-holding to be engaging for me. And they were honestly bad enough to warrant a triple, with some extra ones, and special mention being forced to synthesize mind and action 1, and how much the tutorial dungeon holds your fucking hand. Yeah, seriously, the game forces you to synthesize Mind 1 and Action 1 specifically. Now, in the original, you did need to synthesize an Action 1, but you actually were not punished for doing, say, HP 1. Also, the tutorial dungeon I hate that tutorial dungeon. It holds your hand too much. Audio spam was a triple negative for the audio spam was really bad in this one. Oh my god. In general, I gave it a triple. I hate the audio spam in shops. That was that was a triple negative as well. No. Because every selection you make is, I pick you, I pick you, I pick you, I pick you. Fuck off! Ugh. Status effect fetish was 1 negative. The difficulty curve is weird here. For the most part, it's smooth as butter, but then you get to shit like Josette in the prologue, or Ruin's trash mobs, which is just plain unfair. So yeah, it was all over the place. Then there was a triple negative I gave because you gave enhanced mode to Sky 1. Oh god. Yeah, triple negative, I hated that. So, yeah, the books. Well, there are markers on the map to indicate that they and the side quests are there, which helps. You do have to look all over the map and you do have to look over the map constantly to avoid missing them, and that can be a headache for 100%ing the game. Walkthroughitis for the lose. Enemy advantage is annoying here, as it was in Daybreak 1. And getting attacked and the enemy having the advantage is what I mean by that, by the way. I gave a negative for the cosmetics because, with very few exceptions, they all look god-awful. I did not care for the Wind Trapper chest in Esmala's Tower, as I felt it was rough this time around, as they actually move around, and that makes them far more annoying than the OG, as their self-destruct on death still hits like a truck. Oh, and you can be escorting Niall and Dorothy when you face them. Yeah. Then there's Josette at the end of the prologue, which is just, wow, fuck this fight. First, this is the fight that introduces the Rage Boost, aka Enhanced Mode. And worse yet, there are status effects and her Stampede Craft and Petrify Breath art. Do you know how to wonderfully enhance yourself for things like Clock Up, which is harder to get, and Earth Wall which is easier? If yes, congrats. If no, good fucking luck. Yeah, this is my cliche to say. So say it with me. This fight gets a triple negative. From the god-awful tutorials, the weird slowness to it, and the awful localization, I can't in good consciousness say that this is a good intro. No, it is a double negative. Then there's Nebel Valley, which is less frustrating to navigate, sure, but that doesn't stop the enemies from being annoying to fight, and being way too plentiful for the place to be enjoyable. Also, game, a billion turns for the enemy is not fair, even with the S-Craft delay. Always has been unfair and always will. And then you combine that with the seal fetish that the goons on top of Carnelia Tower use, and you are in for a double negative of a time. Kind of interesting that from Nebel Valley it goes right to chasing the goons in Chapter 3 in Zeiss. You know, King Penguin, speaking of obnoxious, King Penguin, your fight was going really well till you call, 5 fucking extra ads. Ugh. Most of the quest monsters are fine, good even, but then there's Bloody Saber and his pack, which can just eat my entire ass. Ridiculous speed. He'd that cancel everything, and to make matters even more fucked in the head, constant poison and seal. Yeah, I hated that fight, triple negative. I didn't much care for fighting the Ravens in the tournament in this remake. The healing, the stat down fetish, and the constant high speed is just annoying. I also didn't like fighting Kurt's team in the tournament this time around. And as it has the asshole dial cranked way too fucking high. Million turns bullshit. It is at levels that can be seen in from the Terrace version of the Lawrence fight, and is just downright mean and bullshit. But at least with Lawrence on the Terrace, you expect him to be doing that, because the whole point is he's supposed to be able to beat circles around Estelle at that point. The stealth section still sucks, but it sucks way less as the detection is not as bullshit, and the guard's field of vision is on both the mini-map and full map, and I counted 7 times I would have been caught in the OG, but wasn't here. Here, I'm not even joking, so only 1 for that one. So, there's a bit for getting the last volume of Carnelia in this one that requires you to sit beside Anton until a certain NPC walks by 3 times, which takes 10 minutes on Turbo. Yeah, not a fan of that. I know I'm going to get some pushback on this one, but between the high HP Confusion Fetish and the stupidly high revival rate hit on the Fate Spinners, there's Myriad Monsters honestly just bores me, especially that final round. That's the new Kurt side quest. Then there's Danglebone, which can eat my entire ass because of his 200% freeze chance, which is just mean and bullshit. Not to mention if you go after his ads, you're just fucking yourself over because he will revive them with full HP, and they have 61,000 fucking HP each. Yeah, triple negative there. I still don't like the Villa. I think it sucks in this version too. Ew. Courtesy of the stupid high HP of the Special Ops goons. Other than that, it's a vast improvement, admittedly. Then there's the sealed the final dungeon, the sealed area. This is frankly an issue if you're fighting the trash mobs, as they are a fucking joke. Thus, you will be constantly hearing, "Good going, Estelle," and "Nice moves, Joshua," over and over. Over and over and fucking over again. Gave me a headache, so yeah, triple there. Which is also not helped by the aforementioned ease in which you steamroll the trash. You would think this would be a good thing, until you realize the game is mocking you with how piss-ass weak sauce the trash mobs are. Even the chest encounters, frankly. So, yeah, that drastic fall in difficulty was a triple negative for me. I hated it. And then there's the fact that the design of the dungeon would be just as irritating as in the OG. As the OG is not... As the OG, if not for the way a combat is and the map and fast travel systems making it less of a slog. Less of a slog, not removing the slog entirely. I also don't think the outro is good on the gameplay either, sadly, as well. Whew. 54 and for gameplay negatives offsetting in those. Excuse me. Woof. So that's Sky 1's remake. I spent a long time talking about this one. Oh boy. Oy. I guess I had a lot to talk about with that localization. Oof. For the record, I managed to get the rating video of the audit of Sky 1 under an hour in terms of raw footage. I'm at just under an hour and 17 minutes. And it's for the remake. Yeah. So I'm going to rest up a bit, get ready to join Steve for some Fire Emblem Raid Dawn, because I'm recording this on a Sunday. And I will see you guys around for the Sky 2 audits rating video, which is, of course, next. Until then, this is Blue Wolf Alex of the Lore Walker signing out. Have a good one. See you in the next one.